everybody, welcome back to today's video. In today's video, we're going to be having the Monster Jam World Finals 26 press conference. We're going to see lots of cool stuff here within this next hour, as we're going to get to see we're going to talk about new events that are happening around the world in Monster Jam. We're going to be talking about getting to talk to some of our drivers and see how they're feeling heading into the weekend and make some big announcements. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and welcome to the stage, I guess you can say, our series champions. First up, for your Stadium Championship Series East champion, Tyler Menninga in Gravedigger. Next up to the stage, your 2025 Stadium Championship Series West champion, Tristan England in JCB Digatron. Next up, your Arena Championship Series West winner. This is Weston Anderson in Gravedigger Red Primer. Then next up, your International Tour champion, Charlie Pauken, Gravedigger Reckless. Your 2025 Arena Championship Series East champion, Tony Oaks in Thunder Roris. And then, last but not least, your Arena Championship Series Central champion, Jamie Sullivan in Sparkle Smash. Alright, we're going to first start off with Charlie Pauken. Charlie Pauken was the first to clinch a series and the first one to get that automatic bid out to this year's Monster Jam World Finals. Charlie Pauken had a great season internationally as he drove both Gravedigger and Megalodon throughout 6 different cities. He did 3 cities in Gravedigger, 3 cities in Megalodon. He competed in Gravedigger in cities like Berlin, Munich, and in Zurich. And then he drove Megalodon for San Jose, Birmingham, and Arnhem. And Gravedigger had a lot of success there and more success there, so he was able to get the tour win in Gravedigger with also some help from Matt Cody. But since Charlie Pauken had drove in Gravedigger for more events on its international tour than Matt Cody, Gravedigger with Charlie Pauken would be the International Tour champion and is now made it into the Monster Jam World Finals here this year. It's very nice to see Charlie Pauken back, as Charlie Pauken did not compete at last year's Monster Jam World Finals, so we're very happy to see him back. And for the first time since 2021, we'll get to see him drive the black and green wrecking machine known as Gravedigger. He is very, very excited for this weekend, and we haven't seen him behind the wheel in quite some time. The last time we saw him behind the wheel of a Monster Jam truck was back in Arnhem, Netherlands on Labor Day weekend last year. So it's been now over 10 months since we've last seen him drive in Monster Jam, as he did not have to do any fill-ins throughout the first quarter for any of these Monster Jam drivers. So it is great to see Charlie back behind the wheel, and he laid down some decent passes in practice yesterday, so hopefully he can get it done here this weekend and he can bring home his 3rd Monster Jam World Finals championship. Next up, we have Weston Anderson in Gravedigger Red Primer. Weston Anderson had yet again another very great season this year on Arena Championship Series West, as he was very dominant on that tour yet again, where he was able to clinch the series championship. One stop before it was over, he clinched it in the second to last event of the series. And Weston, this is probably the most fun on tour Weston has ever had before, as he got to see lots of bigger arena floors than what he did last year. Last year, he was stuck in the tiny old Monster Dirt Arena for the entire season last year. But this year, he was able to expand out to do some of the bigger pool table arena shows like Tacoma, Reno, and Fargo. You got to do some of those bigger arena floors on Steel Titans, like Salt Lake City, Portland, Wichita, and Denver, and and for all the other shows of the season, we got ourselves a brand new Monster Dirt Arena this season. And Weston got to drive on it. It's a bigger floor compared to the old tiny one that we used to have. And Weston had a blast there. And was a great season for him as he really got to spread his wings a tiny bit in this year and go all out, sending it and going big for all of the Monster Jam fans. He was able to get the series championship. Although this is one of his harder ones to win, especially towards the beginning of the season, as while he led the series the whole entire time. At the beginning of the season, he had Ashley Sanford, Devin Winfield, Tim Hall Jr., Cody Saucier, and Brianna Mahan all breathing down his neck towards the beginning of the season in January, as he barely held the lead. I think there's one event where he only had a 1-point lead over Devin Winfield, and then maybe a 2 or 3 point lead over Ashley Sanford, and everybody in the top 6 was nearly separated by only 10 points, which was really crazy and was one of the tightest we've ever seen on a tour, and especially in the arenas. But Weston Anderson around February is where he really started to hit his mark, as he really started doing better at around that time, especially in the JCB racing competition where he was really struggling at the beginning of the season. But luckily in February, he started to hit his strides in that JCB racing competition and was able to make it further into the bracket instead of losing in the first race of round 1. And he was able to, start to expand that points gap to where he was able to bring home the win in Manchester, New Hampshire, in the second to last stop of the season. And Weston had a great season this year. He's burning it down and tearing this truck up all season long, and he cannot wait to tear up Gravedigger Red Primer this year at the Monster Jam World Finals. Next up, we've got Tony Oaks and Thunder Roris Red. Tony Oaks had a great season this year on Arena Championship Series East. Unlike most of these other drivers who had the lead on their tour pretty much ever since the beginning of the season, Tony Oaks did not get the lead on his tour until around mid to late April on Easter Sunday in Lincoln, Nebraska, was where Tony Oaks was able to make the comeback and get the points lead away from Kristen Anderson in Gravedigger and win this tour. And this tour win means a lot here to Tony Oaks, as he's been chasing this for a very long time now. He's been on the arena tour every single year since 2018. So he's been pursuing this for 7 years. And to now finally get it and make it into the main field of Monster Jam World Finals after 9 years of competing means a lot to him. Lots of people are saying Tony Oaks is one of the best of all time to have never made it into the Monster Jam World Finals. And now this year, he finally made it, and he cannot wait to tear it up here for all of the Monster Jam fans. As he's ready to go, he's going to be ready to tear it up here in the main field. Yeah, as he's really excited. He's had a great performance this year. While he did not have the weekend he wanted to in the finale weekend in Colorado Springs, he still did good everywhere else on the season. And, he may not have had the best start of the tour, but he worked his way up there, and Kristen had some fumbles and around March and April, and that allowed for Tony Oaks, where Tony Oaks really started to do good, and he was able to come back and take that points lead, and he held that points lead for over 2 months, all the way from Lincoln all the way to our finale stop in Colorado Springs, Colorado. And now Tony Oaks here in the big show, and he cannot wait to tear it up here in Thunder Roris. Next up, we've got Tristan England and JCB Digatron. Tristan England with his first ever Stadium Championship Series win this year. Tristan had also an interesting season, kind of like Tony Oaks. He did not have the points lead for the entirety of his season like Weston Anderson, as I remember at the beginning of the season, it was Todd LeDuc who had the strong start to the season and held the points lead after the very first stop, and then Tristan England would actually take the points lead after the second stop on the tour 2 weeks later in St. Louis, Missouri, after he clean sweep that event, as Tristan's one of only 2 drivers this year to have clean sweeped an event. Or one of maybe at least on the stadium level, he's only one of 2 drivers to have done that throughout the main season. Only him and Tyler Menninga were able to do it. Meanwhile, last year in quarter 2, we did see Ryan Anderson get a clean sweep, and we did see Weston Anderson get a clean sweep or 2 maybe on his arena tour on Arena Championship Series West. But Tristan England, he fought for it. He was constantly up there being consistent in that top 3 in points, as he had ended up losing the points lead in the 3rd stop of the tour in Glendale, but he stayed persistent and he stayed persistent, stayed consistent in the points. And I believe it was around Seattle was where he took the points lead away. I think it was either in Seattle or Arlington. He would take the points lead away from Ryan Anderson and Son of a Digger. And Tristan was able to ride that all the way ride that wave all the way to the end of the season in Miami, Florida, where he would take home the series win. It meant a lot to him. He was super duper happy to get the win. It really brightened him up a lot, and his wife and his son were of course very proud of him, and it was definitely a very emotional moment for Tristan. And that in his 2nd year of competing on the stadium level, he brings home that stadium championship series win in his 2nd year of competing, which is really, really awesome. And Tristan just had a great season this year. He got lots of wins. He got a clean sweep, and he's ready to go at Monster World Finals. He's ready to tear it up here for all you fans. And he's hoping he can put the cherry on the top this season by winning a world championship. As this weekend Tristan is competing in the main field. Only he's a bit bummed he did not get in the skills challenge, but he's happy he's in the main field and he's ready to tear it up there for all the Monster Jam fans. Next up, we've got Jamie Sullivan in Sparkle Smash, the lone female driver to win a tour championship this year. Jamie Sullivan had a really great season this year, kind of like Weston Anderson. Jamie Sullivan held the points lead for the entirety of the time on her season, all the way from the beginning of the season in Nashville, all the way to the end of the season in South Haven, Mississippi. And Jamie had a great season this year. She was super duper dominant across the board, as the competitions she definitely did the best in were racing, sky wheelies, and freestyle. She definitely did have, and she would also lay down some decent 2-wheel runs that would always place her in the upper to middle part of the leaderboard in skills. And donuts, she didn't really do the best in whenever we had that competition, but we rarely did donuts on the tour this year. So Jamie had a lot of fun this year. She was really dialed in Sparkle Smash. She was a bit worried coming into the season on how the truck would run after having seen Kayla Blood's performance. But being on these smaller arena floors, the truck worked really well for her, and she did awesome. She was sending it, going big the entire time, and she had really tough tour competitors. She had to face up against some very tough competitors like the reigning freestyle champion Matt Cody, Fernando Martinez, the Zimmers, and the Robbins brothers. They were all very tough on her tour, and Jamie did have her struggles on this tour, as the month of March for her was not her best, as she didn't hardly bring home any competition wins. But throughout the rest of the season, she did really well. She's very dominant on her tour, and she was able to survive the whole season this year without getting injured, as Jamie got injured last year, which took her out for 2 events, which definitely cost her mightily in points, as she went from 2nd place all the way down to nearly 5th place after her injury. So Jamie is able to stay uninjured the whole season, and now she's ready to tear it up here at Monster Jam World Finals, and she's definitely going to try her best, as she's currently facing an infection right now on her face from where her dog had bit her around 2 weeks ago. So, Jamie, she's still fighting through that. She's able to do decent in practice yesterday, and she's hoping she can just get through the weekend. As, Jamie Sullivan, she definitely wanted to compete this weekend. She was not going to sit out this weekend because of this injury. It may be a tough injury, and it may be very tough, but, hey, she doesn't care. She wants to compete anyway. She doesn't care how good she does. She doesn't care if she finishes in last place. She just wants to compete here in the World Finals as this weekend, as this is her first time in the big show, and she worked hard all season long to get that Tour Championship, to make it into the big show. So Jamie is here to rock it out, and maybe she can pull off a miracle and bring home that World Finals championship here in her debut year at the World Finals. And this year is a big year for Jamie. This has definitely been one of Jamie's best season in Monster Jam so far, as as this year marked the first time we ever saw a female driver win a Tour Championship ever since 2020. Last time we saw female drivers win their points tours back in 2020, with drivers like Kaylin Miguez, who won the Arena Championship Series, and Kristen Anderson and Gravedigger, who won Triple Threat Series East. So it's been 5 years, and we finally have another female on top, and Jamie Sullivan super duper happy she did this in Sparkle Smash's debut season, and she cannot wait to rock it out here at Monster Jam World Finals in the main field. Last but not least, our series champions is Tyler Menninga in Gravedigger. And similar to drivers like Weston Anderson, Tyler Menninga was able to clinch his points series early, as he clinched it in the second to last stop of the tour in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Tyler had an interesting year this year, as he definitely performed consistent and solid the entire time, and he held the points lead for most of the tour. I believe there was one time in the season, I believe it was after the second San Diego event, we saw Jim Kohler take the points lead away from Tyler Menninga, but luckily in the next stop in Anaheim, he would take it right back, and I believe ever since Anaheim, from Anaheim all the way to the end of the season in Fort Myers, Tyler was able to hold down that points lead. He performed very consistently and dominant. He got lots of skills challenge wins this year, as this year he brought home the most skills challenge win out of everybody in the entire sport of Monster Jam. He was able to get the most amount of skills challenge wins, and he's very good in that competition. Freestyle, he was always finishing towards the top, and in racing, he was always making it very far in the brackets. Tyler with another great and consistent year to bring home his third Stadium Championship Series title in a row, as well as he's been on a roll in Stadium Tours over these past 3 years, and he's happy to have another Stadium Tour win out here, and it's been a great season for Tyler Menninga. I mean, he was one of only 2 drivers to get the clean sweep in on the point series this year in the stadiums, as he's able to clean sweep Philadelphia. And Tyler, he's ready to go for this weekend. We cannot wait to see what he has in store for us behind the wheel of Gravedigger, as he's going to be competing in 3 competitions this weekend, as he will be competing not only in just racing and freestyle, but he'll also be in skills as well. And that's something we also forgot to bring up here with the other 2 Gravedigger drivers. Charlie Pauken, we're going to be seeing him in skills as well as Weston Anderson, as these 3 Gravedigger drivers will be competing in skills, racing, and freestyle throughout the weekend. So that'll be very interesting. And Tyler, he's ready to go, and he's ready to hopefully bring home another world championship. Alright, let's welcome up our next group of drivers to the stage. Next up, we've got Fernando Martinez in El Toro Loco Stars and Stripes, making his last chance qualifier debut, and bringing back an old iconic truck name. Next to the stage, we're going to welcome in Adam Anderson in Gravedigger. Next up, the driver who got 3 back-to-back freestyle wins on his tour, and brought home a total of 4 total, getting probably the most freestyle wins on the entirety of his tour. This is Zach Garner in Wildside. Competing in all 4 competitions this weekend, we have Ryan Anderson in Son of a Digger. Making her World Finals return, this is Cynthia Gauthier in Lucas Stabilizer. And competing in the Last Chance Qualifier, this is Mike Christensen in Vendetta. Let's start off first with Fernando Martinez. Fernando Martinez this weekend competing in the LCQ, and he's going to be revealing the all-new El Toro Loco Stars and Stripes later on today. So far, Fernando Martinez has had a good week so far in Salt Lake City. While practice did not really go his way yesterday, he ended up, I believe on his first pass, he ended up locking up his steering, or he locked up the back 2 BKT tires, and the crew worked very late last night to get that truck fixed up and ready to go for today. And they have the truck currently sitting out at the pit party right now, where they'll be ready to unveil that beautiful Stars and Stripes El Toro Loco later on today. And Fernando he's happy to be here. Fernando definitely had an interesting time on Arena Series Central this year, as he didn't do as good as what he did last year, as this was a very tight and competitive tour where he would finish in 4th place on this tour. But that doesn't mean Fernando didn't have his fair share of success on this tour, as Fernando definitely had a lot of success on this tour, as his best competition this year, where he did really well at this year, probably the best at, was freestyle, as he definitely drive on the ragged edge a lot in that competition, and he was able to he was driving on the ragged edge in that competition, brought home a lot of wins there. We also occasionally see him as well bring home some wins in racing, and he would also perform very well in the skills challenge. And Fernando just had a really great season this year. And he had a really great month of March. That was his biggest highlight of the season for him, was the month of March, where he was able to bring home a lot of wins here, as Jamie Sullivan dominant streak kind of came to a bit of a halt during that month, and Fernando really started to pick up his game, and he really started tearing it up on the track, as he was picking up overall event championship after overall event championship, and did really great that month. And he was very proud of that time, and he made out here in the LCQ, and he's ready to go here, and he's hoping he can get his shot here in the big show, and hopefully he have that truck running, and he can try to make it into the main field. Next up, we've got Adam Anderson in Gravedigger, the Legend, as Adam Anderson this weekend is bringing back Gravedigger, the Legend, for the first time in 10 years. And Adam is super duper happy about this, as Adam, his career has been built in the Legend, as the Legend's meant a lot to him, as he brought home 2 world championships in that truck, in the racing competition in 2013 and in 2014. And it's been a long time since Adam has driven this truck, and it's been a long time he's won a world championship. So he really wants to bring home some hardware this weekend, as he just felt as if his World Finals performance hasn't been as good within these recent couple of years, and he's hoping he can lay it down here for all the fans here this weekend. The closest we've seen Adam come to a World Championship ever since his time in Gravedigger was back in 2020, back in Las Vegas, Nevada, at the final World Finals at Sam Boyd Stadium that year, where Adam was able to make it to the final round in racing, but lost to Morgan Kane in Gravedigger. So Adam, he's hoping he can bring it home this weekend behind the wheel of Gravedigger, the Legend, as he is very excited to get that truck unveiled to the fans tomorrow, and he's very, very excited to compete in it, and he's hoping to bring home some hardware this year. Adam's had an interesting season this year, as it's been probably Adam's worst year of performance on a stadium tour, as Adam Anderson finished, I believe, in 8th place on his tour, which is very uncharacteristic of him. We usually see him every single year, like from 2016 all the way through 2024. We saw him always place on a tour championship. He was always in the top 3. But this year, he just kind of struggled a little bit. Competition was very tight on his tour this year, and he felt as if the truck just wasn't working as good for him as what he could have wanted it to. As he struggled in racing, skills was not his best. In freestyle, he constantly finished lower in the field. But hopefully they have that truck all worked out, as they debuted a brand new chassis for Gravedigger this year back in Tampa, Gravedigger 42. And Adam has been rocking it out in that truck ever since Tampa. And so this chassis heading into this weekend is now about 4 months old now. So they had a lot of time in the shop to work on it, and they broke the truck in this year. And Adam is hoping he can run well this weekend. He can bring home his fourth World Finals championship. Next up, we have Zach Gardner in Wild Side. Zach Gardner had a really great season this year on Stadium Championship Series West, and he's coming out here this year hungry and looking for that World Finals Racing Championship, and that's the one he's really going for this weekend. As last year he made it all the way to the final round in Los Angeles, only to have some issues on the truck, where the truck just died mid-race, and allowed for Brandon Mahan and Scooby-Doo to take the win. So Zach Gardner, he's hoping he can have better luck out here this year, and he can try to bring it home in that JCB racing competition. The track is very interesting and technical, and these races are going to be a bit longer compared to what we've seen in other racing tracks this year. So Zach is ready to go. Oh, Zach, this year in racing, Zach hasn't had his best season in racing, but he still definitely has had his highlights in racing. And as he made it to the final round in, I believe, Anaheim Show 3 and lost to Caleb Blood. In Minneapolis, he also made it to the final round in that show as well, to lose to Cole Vennard. And then he also made it to the final round this year in racing in Inglewood against Tristan England and JCB Digatron, and he was able to bring home that racing win there. But his competition with his most success this year has been freestyle. He's been killing it in freestyle all season long, as he's always been finishing up there really high, and he's able to bring home 4 freestyle wins on his tour this year, coming from shows such as Seattle, Inglewood, Fort Myers Show 1, and Atlanta Show 2. And in fact, Seattle, Inglewood, and Fort Myers Show 1, those were those were 3 freestyle wins in a row that he got back-to-back freestyle wins. So Zach has been killing it there, and he's ready to freestyle this weekend. And he's also hoping he can bring home a win there in the freestyle competition and bring it home there. And he's also competing in the high jump this weekend. So, he's very excited for that, and he's hoping he can maybe try to bring home a win there in the high jump competition. Zach, he wants to win that world championship so badly. He's worked hard all season long to make it to this moment. He's been performing great all season long. So hopefully this can be the weekend where Zach Gardner can take home that World Finals championship. He's going for racing the most. That's the one he wants the most, very, very badly. But he also wouldn't mind if he brought home the win in high jump or freestyle either. Next up, we have Ryan Anderson and Son of a Digger. He's the only competitor this weekend competing in all 4 competitions. So it's going to be a long weekend for Ryan Anderson. It's going to be a lot on him and his truck here this weekend. So he's ready, but he's ready to go. Ryan Anderson had a great season this year, finishing 2nd place on his tour on Stadium Series West. And while Ryan didn't pick up as many wins as what he wanted to, he still had a really solid performance. He would definitely bring home some wins in the racing competition. Freestyle, he was able to bring home some wins in shows like Tampa, and both the Tampa shows. And the competition where he probably had the most success this year was in the Skills Challenge, as he brought home a lot of wins there. And he's really become the master at trying to do this slap moonwalk thingamajig that he's been doing all season long. He's been getting really good at it, and he's really became the master at it, and he's the only one really on his tour doing it. So, that definitely sets him apart from the other competitors. And Ryan, he's hoping he can bring home that win in the Skills Challenge this weekend. But the world competition Ryan Anderson probably wants the most out here this weekend is definitely gonna be racing. He loves the racing track, and Ryan Anderson probably laid down the best passes in practice yesterday in both lanes, as well as he laid down a solid pass in both lanes. So Ryan Anderson is hoping he can bring home that win in the racing championship this weekend, as Ryan has definitely become really great at racing over the years, and he's hoping he can bring it home in that competition here this weekend. And we cannot wait to see what Ryan Anderson has in store this weekend. He has the potential to walk out of here as an 8-time World Finals champion if he wins all 8 competitions, or all 4 competitions. Next up, we have Cynthia Gauthier and Lucas Stabilizer. Cynthia Gauthier did not compete last year at the Monster Jam World Finals, unfortunately, as last year during the entirety of quarter 1, Cynthia was out on maternity leave as she went to start her family and have her first kid last year. so she could not compete, and so she let Lindsay Reed drive her truck last year during the World Finals, and Lindsay Reed had a pretty decent performance. While she may have lost round 1 in racing, she definitely laid down a really great freestyle that, in my opinion, I believe was underscored and that maybe probably should have finished higher on the leaderboard. But Cynthia is back this year behind the wheel of Lucas Stabilizer, and she's ready to tear it up here on the track here this year at the Monster Jam World Finals, as she's had a pretty decent season, pretty great year this year, making her return back. She may have had a bit of a slow start of getting back to the truck after all her body had to go through in pregnancy, as well as all the time that she had away from driving throughout 2024. She's able to slowly regain her skills back, and she's been doing a really good freestyle this year. May not have been her best, and she may not have taken home as many wins there, but the competition she really improved on a lot was racing, and she did have a final round appearance back in Birmingham. And her biggest highlight of the season for sure this year was definitely coming from Birmingham, where she was able to have a good and consistent enough of an event to win the overall event championship. And she's very, very happy about that. And she's hoping she can bring home the big title here this weekend. She can bring home that World Finals championship this weekend, as she's competing in both racing, as she's competing in the main field and racing and freestyle, and she's ready to go in that competition, and she's hoping she can bring home the win. She's really improved a lot in racing, so she's definitely go for that, but she'd also be happy if she can win freestyle as well. Last but not least, we've got Mike Christensen in Vendetta. This is a very big weekend for Mike Christensen, as this means a lot to him, as we are competing in Salt Lake City, which is probably the backyard for Team Throttle Monster, as the shop for Team Throttle Monster isn't too much far down the road from here, as it's maybe only 45 minutes away here from Rice Eccles Stadium. And currently right now, Mike is currently not really happy right now, as right now no Team Throttle Monster trucks are currently in the main field, and Mike is very disappointed about that, and he wants to change that here tonight in the LCQ, as he wants to get he wants to get one of his trucks into the main field. As currently right now, Team Throttle Monster has a 33% chance of winning the LCQ, as we have 4 out of the 12 trucks in the LCQ are from Team Throttle Monster. Mike is running in this LCQ, as well as Dalton, Tim Hall Jr., and Devin Winfield, so they're hoping one of the 4 of them can bring it home in the LCQ. He's hoping one of those drivers can bring it home in that competition and make it into the big show. Mike laid down 2 great passes in practice yesterday, as well as Devin, so they definitely have the best shots at winning. And Mike, he really wants to be in the big show this weekend, and he's hoping he can win it and make it into the main field this year here at Monster Jam World Finals. It would definitely mean a lot to him, as he's been working at he's been in Monster Jam for a very long time now, and has not gotten his chance here to compete in the big show. He is very, very close to making it in the big show in 2023, as he ended up in the showdown competition. He made it all the way to the final round in that competition in 2023, but lost to Ryan Disharoon in Shaker. So Mike Christensen, he's hoping he can get into the big show this year, not lose in the final round. And, last year we got to see Team Throttle Monster make its debut at the World Finals with David Olfert behind the wheel of Velociraptor. So Mike Christensen is hoping he can also keep the tradition or the streak going of Team Throttle Monster competing in the World Finals. Hopefully this year he's hoping him or one of his other 3 teammates can make it into the big show. Next up, let's now welcome in our next group of drivers into the stage. Next up, looking to try to win his first World Finals championship, this is Armando Castro and El Toro Loco. Next up, you're having pulled off one of the craziest saves of the year. This is Colt Stevens in Thunder Roris. Next up, representing the Zombie Nation, this is Bari Musauer in Zombie. Coming out to the stage next, the only man to compete in every World Finals, this is Jim Kohler in Avenger. Next up, one of coming out next, one of the best freestylers this season. This is Camden Murphy in Classroom Crusher. And competing in the LCQ for the first time, this is MJ Solorio in El Toro Loco. Let's start off with Armando out here. Armando Castro had a really great season this year behind the wheel of El Toro Loco. While Armando may have had some of his points in the season where he struggled, like in the Steel Titans shows, Armando still had a really great season, and he really was tearing it up the entire season, especially in freestyles. He was just so dominant and so good in that competition this year. That was definitely his best performing competition this year, where he's able to bring home 3 wins in the freestyle competition this year, coming from San Diego Show 1, Houston Show 2, and in Fort Myer and in East Rutherford. He's able to bring home those freestyle wins, and he's very happy he got those wins in those competitions, as he's been burning it down all season long. And there's other freestyle competitions this year where he felt as if he got underscored. So Armando, he's ready to go this weekend. He's definitely looking to try to bring home that win in the freestyle competition this year. Now, something a bit interesting about all these El Toro Loco drivers competing here this weekend, at least the Feld ones with Fernando, Armando, and MJ, is that they're all running their original chassis that they started with at the beginning of the season. As right now, some of these newer Spin Master models here make it very hard to take the bodies off of the trucks, and the screws are all stripped on El Toro Loco. So, in order to run practice this weekend, they're deciding to make this as a permanent switchover, so that way we can always take the bodies off. We destroyed some of those chassis for El Toro Loco, and we put the orange bodies onto their OG chassis that they started with at the beginning of the season. So Armando, he's happy to be back in this chassis, as he had a lot of success in this chassis at the beginning of the season. And then this is Armando's first time driving his old chassis. As the last time we saw him drive it was back in Birmingham, back in late April. So Armando's happy to be back in that chassis. He's able to bring home a freestyle win there, and he's very, very happy to be back. And he's hoping he can have some good luck here this weekend and bring home that win. And lastly, Armando Castro got the chance to make some history this year by debuting this brand new El Toro Loco body, as this new El Toro Loco body that we have out here this year debuted in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, with the new dovetailed tailgate, and the new skinnier nose with the bigger teeth, and some of the more vibrant colors on this truck that we saw debut earlier on in the season. Armando Castro got to be the first one to run it out here this year back in Philadelphia in very late April. So Armando, he's had some good luck in that chassis, and he's had some good luck with that brand new body. So he got 2 freestyle wins in it, and so Armando's hoping to bring home another freestyle win here this weekend. Next up, we have Colt Stevens and Thunder Roaris. This thing has been a great it's been a great year for Colt Stevens so far, both on and off the track. As off the track, they made the announcement that he was going to be having some twins coming in that are being born probably sometime around now during this weekend, and as well as getting married earlier on back in the season, back in March. So it's been a great year for Colt Stevens. And then on the track, of course, Colt Stevens has had a really great year, and he's been burning it down in freestyle every single time, as he's been doing really great in that competition every single weekend, as he's definitely somebody to watch out for in that competition. And he's able to bring home his 2 biggest wins this season, came from racing in Foxborough and freestyle in Birmingham. He was able to bring home the racing competition win in Foxborough earlier on in the season. Colt Stevens is able to get that win by taking down Mike Christensen in Vendetta in the final round, and that was a pretty interesting racing competition due to all the mud that we had seen that day in Foxborough. That was a very, very muddy event that day in Foxborough back in late April, and so he was able to bring home that win. But then the win that definitely was Colt Stevens' best came from earlier on that week, 6 days prior, in Birmingham, Alabama, where he was able to bring home the freestyle win with one of the craziest sidewalls that we've ever seen in Monster Jam he had to at least be on the sidewalls for at least 10 seconds as he spun that truck round and round and round, and he was able to get the truck back on all 4 BKT tires. It is truly amazing and is possibly going to probably win possibly the Save of the Year award this year at the award show on Sunday. So, Coley's had a great year this year, both in his life on and off the track. And he would like, the cherry on top to this weekend and to this year for Colt Stevens would be for him to bring home this a world championship this weekend. He's got 3 shots at it in racing, high jump, and in freestyle. So he's only going to bring that home in one of those competitions. He's definitely aiming more towards high jump and freestyle, but he'd also be happy if he wins racing. Next up, we have Bari Musauer and Zombie. And Bari Musauer, this is probably one of his best seasons on the Stadium Tour yet, as he ended up finishing in 2nd place behind Tyler Menninga and Gravedigger. Bari also had a really great season this year, picking up many wins, and as he pretty much got a competition win all across the board in every competition throughout the year. He brought home a few racing wins. The biggest, of course, of the racing wins, the most significant racing wins that we saw Bari bring home this week and this year were both came out of his home state shows from Orlando and Jacksonville. Then, of course, he got some wins in the Skills Challenge as well. The biggest and most significant one being coming from Foxborough in the mud and in the rain. Then he brought even home some freestyle wins as well this season. Of course, the biggest freestyle wins coming from Jacksonville in his home state show, as well as from Foxborough, where he's able to get that win in the rain and in the muddy conditions of that track. So it's been a great season for Bari. Closest he's probably come to winning a series championship since he won a series championship from back in 2021 on Triple Threat Series West. And Bari's back out here this year, and he's hoping to bring home that world championship. He's hoping to bring home a 3rd World Finals championship. As like Colt Stevens, he's got 3 shots at it in racing, high jump, and freestyle. Bari's definitely wanting that racing win. His last year, Bari podiumed in racing, getting 3rd place in the racing competition at World Finals last year, finishing on the podium. So Bari would love to win that competition. That's the one he's definitely going after for the most. But he wouldn't mind another a 3rd freestyle win, and he also definitely wouldn't mind winning high jump as well. And we can always see what Bari Musauer has in store for us this weekend. He's ready to bring home a world championship, as Bari has been doing awesome all season long. Next up, we've got the only man to ever compete in every World Finals, Jim Kohler in Avenger. Jim Kohler's had a great season this year. He's had lots of success coming from his home show in Detroit to winning freestyle in New Orleans to winning a skills challenge from Birmingham, and I believe even taking home a racing win as well, and even an overall event championship as well. So Jim, he's done really great this year behind the wheel of Avenger. He had one of his better seasons Jim has had, as this year Jim got 4th place on Stadium Tour East after barely losing that 3rd place spot at the very end of the tour back in Fort Myers Show 2, over a month and a half ago. So Jim, he's ready to go here for this week, and he's hoping he can bring home that 4th World Finals championship, as he's got 3 opportunities at it, kind of like Colt and Bari, where he's going to be competing in racing, high jump, and in freestyle this weekend. And Jim, he's very excited to compete in all these competitions, and he's hoping he can bring home a win in one of them. Next up, we have Camden Murphy in Classroom Crusher. Camden Murphy, he's had a great season this year, debuting this all-new Classroom Crusher truck this year, where he's able to get 3rd place on his tour on Stadium Championship Series East. And Camden had a really great and successful year this year, as his biggest win from the season came from Fort Myers, where he's able to win freestyle, as Camden had been pursuing another freestyle win for a very long time, ever since we had as this tour really got really busy with lots of shows. starting in around like Jacksonville back in around mid to late April, all the way to the end of the season was definitely a very busy like over month and like very busy month right there at the end of the tour for Stadium Tour East from Jacksonville, Birmingham, Philadelphia, Foxborough, uh, East Rutherford, uh, and Fort Myers. It was a very busy time on the tour for Stadium Championship Series East within that within that month stretch that we had that like month and a week that we had nearly 5 weeks that we had. It was very busy for the tour with 2 weeks off. And Camden was burning it down practically in every single show, trying to win freestyle, but would always fall up just short to the judges. But luckily in Fort Myers in the last show of the season, he's able to bring home the freestyle win with one of the best freestyles of the whole season. And on the amazing beach and the beautiful backdrop, he's able to bring home that freestyle win. And it was also, and when he got that win, it was around the same time when everybody was out for school for summer break. So it was very well fitting. And Camden's had a really fun time driving this Classroom Crusher this year as the truck's been working really awesome for him this year, and he's hoping he can bring home that world championship this weekend. It's kind of like what we talked about with the previous three drivers. Camden Murphy is competing in racing, high jump, and in freestyle, so he's hoping he can get a win. He'd really love a win in either racing or freestyle, but he would also definitely take a high jump championship as well. Next up, real quickly, we got one more driver we still got to talk about, which is MJ Solorio in El Toro Loco. MJ Solorio's had a really great season this year on Arena Championship Series East. He finished in third place this season, and MJ's just, how much we've seen MJ grow and improve throughout the last year. Like seeing from the end of last year's tour on Arena Series West to his Q2 appearances in shows like Orlando, Sunrise, and Nashville, all the way to now this year. We've just seen so much improvement in him. In the two-wheel skills challenge, he's really gotten better at balancing the truck on the front two BK tires, where he's able to balance it out for longer periods of time. And he's also been working on and adding more combination moves into his runs, like going from the moonwalk into the wheelie, then back down to a moonwalk and doing all those crazy combination of moves. And he's had some great people like Blake Ranger and Tony Oaks help him out and teaching him these brand new moves. And MJ's been doing really good, and he's been doing really great. And he also has been fast in racing, and in freestyle, he's been incorporating backflips into his runs. Now, as this year, he did his first career backflip, and he's been doing backflips now at he's been doing backflips now at a lot of the shows he's done. And he's really improved a lot, and he's definitely got a very bright future in this sport here of Monster Jam. And we cannot wait to see what his future holds. And this weekend, he's competing in the LCQ for the first time, driving the yellow El Toro Loco. So he's very excited. We got to see the truck on the chassis last night, and he even got a chance to see it for the very first time in person here this morning. And he loves it, and he cannot wait to tear it up. And he hopes he can win the LCQ, and he can make it into the big show. Alright, everybody, it is now time to talk about our first of two stunt encores that we're having for this weekend. First up, we have the Friday night encore, where we're going to be seeing the all-new Tech Deck Rec Deck do a freestyle run, do a nice little awesome encore freestyle run for you fans to kick off the event tomorrow. We're very excited to see this. Bryce Kenny's going to be the new driver of this brand new Rec Deck Tech Deck stunt. Bryce Kenny was considered hanging it up after this year in Monster Mutt, but as soon as he got the phone call about this new Rec Deck truck, Bryce Kenny was immediately on board with this truck, and he's ready to rock it out here in this new truck, this all new skateboard type Monster Jam truck. He's very excited to run it, and so far right now we're having some issues with shipping the chassis out there, as there are some delays in getting this truck and chassis ready. So sadly, we were originally going to reveal it during the pit party today, but sadly, that will not be happening, as instead, the first time you guys will probably get to see your eyes on this truck with the unveil will be happening during the encore to kick off to kick off the Friday event. So, Bryce, he's ready to tear it up out here, and he's very excited to see what this new body is going to be like out here. So he's ready to have a lot of success. As this body, unlike all these other bodies here that we see here in Monster Jam that are made out of a more plastic or like more of a metal body that we see here on these Spin Master trucks, this body is actually going to be made out of cardboard. And if we know anything about cardboard trucks, and it's not the first time we've seen this, so we saw Lucas Stabilizer used to run a cardboard body all the way from Tampa, as Cynthia ran a cardboard body from Lucas Stabilizer starting in Tampa Show 3 in 2022. And then she had her last show at the cardboard body Lucas Stabilizer back in Venice, Florida, Show 2 in 2023. And if we know anything about the cardboard trucks, that they're very light in weight. And so that means Bryce Kane's probably gonna have one of the lightest weighty trucks out there on the track, which means he can absolutely just go big and send it for all you fans. And I think Bryce Kane is about to have a lot of success in this truck, and we cannot wait to see it competing next year, and for the years to come in the events to follow up in the future. We cannot wait to see what Bryce Kane has in store for us. As he likes the body, he likes how light this truck is going to be. It's going to be very much more lighter compared to Monster Mutt and Great Clips Mohawk Warrior. So Bryce is ready to go, and I think he's definitely got a good shot of winning, get a lot of success in this truck, and I believe, and I won't be surprised by the time this rec deck, but between either when Bryce retires or when this Tech Deck rec deck truck retires, I would not be surprised if Bryce Kenny has a stadium championship series win, a world finals championship, or even lots of freestyle wins to his name by the time it's all said and done with this truck. The next stunt we're going to be having, so we'll be kicking off the Saturday event, will be the JCB Digatron Smash Bot Stunt. Tristan England here, we're promoting this brand new toy that Spin Master will be making. Tristan England's going to jump through the Smash Bot made out of styrofoam and take the Smash Bot down here, and we cannot wait to see how that's going to look as Tristan's going to jump through the Smash Bot, and it's going to be very cool and very exciting stunt. This is going to be Tristan England's first time doing a stunt, so he is very excited, and we cannot wait to see what happens here with this stunt here for the JCB Digatron Smash Bot stunt, and we cannot wait to see what Tristan England has in store. Next up, everybody, we're going to be announcing is our end of summer show. As guys, this summer break is going by fast. It felt like yesterday when we were just starting summer break of 2025 with our first event in East Rutherford, New Jersey. For our second to last stop on Stadium Tour East to kick off the summer break. And now here we are, now almost 2 months later, a month and a half later, I should say, and we're already close to the end, as we only have maybe about 3 or 4 more weeks left of summer break. After this, I think we probably have 3 more weeks left here of summer break, which means it is time to announce our end of summer show, the last show that will be taking place during the summer break. And it would be no better way to end the summer break than to kick off our 2025/2026 international tour in Melbourne, Australia on Saturday, August 9th for 2 action-packed shows. And for this lineup, for this event, we'll get to see Matt Cody and Gravedigger, Charlie Pauken and Megalodon, Chelsea Van Cleve and El Toro Loco, Blake Granger and Max D, Camden Murphy and the Amazing Spider-Man, Brandon Arthur and Iron Man, Jamie Sullivan and Thor, and Bari Musauer and Zombie. So some things to talk about with this lineup here, with these 2 action-packed shows here. Matt Cody returning to the International Series this year, where he hopes he can get some more seat time in Gravedigger, and he hopes he can bring home that International Series championship this year and get that automatic bid to World Finals. Charlie Pauken is back on the International Tour, and first International Tour, Matt Cody, what he has planned right now on this tour is he's going to do most 99.9% of his shows that he's going to be doing on this International Tour will be in Gravedigger. But however, he will have I believe, one or two events where he will be driving JCB Digatron. And coming up later on, Charlie Pauken is back in Megalodon once again on the international tour. And yet again, kind of like how we saw with last year's international tour, Charlie Pauken will be going back and forth between Megalodon and Gravedigger on this tour. And definitely most of his events probably this time around will probably be in Megalodon on this tour, but he will still have a few appearances in the black and green Wrecking Machine Gravediggers. But I'm very excited to see what Charlie has in store for us in Megalodon, and Charlie's hoping to bring Team Megalodon home to the championship this year. Next up, we got Chelsea Van Cleve and El Toro Loco. Chelsea Van Cleve is ready to go for the international tour this year, and she is very, very excited about it. And she's really looking for a win on this tour, a freestyle win, as Chelsea Van Cleve has been pursuing and trying so hard now to get her first ever career freestyle win, and she's hoping she can get it here on this tour. And Chelsea Van Cleve this year on the international tour, she's not only going to be piloting just El Toro Loco on this tour, she's also going to have some shows in Thor as well. But I'm definitely going to say right now that most of the shows that we're going to see Chelsea Van Cleve do on this international tour will mostly be in El Toro Loco. And we're very excited to see her back on this tour. Chelsea Van Cleve, she's had some seat time in the States for some fill-in shows in the States this year, competing in shows like Hartford, Connecticut, filling in for Fernando Martinez on Arena Series Central. Started competing in Columbus, Ohio, filling in for Ashley Sanford in Megalodon for Arena Series West. And we got to see her yet again on Arena Series Central in Lexington, Kentucky, filling in for Angelina Knock in Megalodon for Arena Central. So we're excited to see Chelsea Van Cleve back on the international tour this year, and it's going to be very fun and very exciting. Next up, we have Blake Granger. We're making Max D's return to Monster Jam, as Max D's been pretty vacant here in the sport here this year, ever since Tom Meents did make his retirement last year. I mean, we did see Max D for a few quarter two shows last year during the international tour and the Superstar Challenge. We saw Max D compete last year in San Jose, Arnhem, and in Anaheim for the Superstar Challenge. So we're excited to see Max D come back into the international tour, and this time around the international tour, there's going to be quite a few more shows to feature Max D in it this year compared to last year. So we're very excited. Blake Granger is going to have the duty of driving probably 3 different trucks on this international tour, as he's going to be driving Max D, El Toro Loco, and Megalodon on this international tour. However, this time around, I'll have to say most of his shows will mostly be in Max D and El Toro Loco, with a few shows here and there with Megalodon. Unlike last year, where Blake Granger spent most of his time on the international tour in Megalodon last year. So, you know, Blake Granger's definitely have some more time on this international tour in Max D. So we're very excited about that, and we're very excited to see Max D's return to the sport. We have Camden Murphy making his debut behind the wheel of the Amazing Spider-Man. Camden Murphy is very excited to be a part of this international tour this year, as we'll be definitely seeing him in here or there for some shows on this international tour, driving the Amazing Spider-Man. And unlike all the other drivers we just mentioned, this is the only truck Camden's going to drive on the international tour. He's just going to be exclusive to Spider-Man, and he even may share some of his duties and roles of driving Spider-Man with other drivers, like possibly Brandon Arthur may do a show here or there with Spider-Man. And we also will see a returning Mikey Vaughters Jr. at some point on this international tour to drive this Spider-Man truck. So we're very excited about that. We can always see what Camden Murphy has in store for us out on the track in the Amazing Spider-Man here, and he's very excited to compete internationally, as he hasn't done hardly anything internationally. The last time we saw him compete internationally was in, I believe, Johannesburg, South Africa, back in 2023. So Camden is very excited to be back on this international tour. And next up, we have Brandon Arthur in Iron Man. Brandon Arthur this year on the international tour, he's going to be driving 3 different trucks throughout the international tour that we have planned so far. There could be more to possibly be announced, but he's going to mainly be behind the wheel of Iron Man. But he will also have some shows as well where he will be driving the Amazing Spider-Man, as well as driving JCB Digatron as well. So we're very excited about that. He's going to be spending most of his time on this tour in Iron Man, and we're very excited to see what Brandon Arthur has in store for us behind the wheel of Iron Man on this international tour. And we're very excited. Brandon Arthur did really good on international tour last year, finishing in 3rd place, I believe, with this truck of Iron Man. So we're excited to see what he has in store for us this season on the international tour. We cannot wait to see him in his first stop in Melbourne, Australia. As Brandon Arthur has been just getting way better and better, doing more backflips and freestyle, and he's become very fast in racing, so we cannot wait to see what he has in store for us here in Melbourne, Australia. Next up, we have Jamie Sullivan making her international debut. Jamie Sullivan is very excited to go overseas for Monster Jam for her very first time, as Jamie Sullivan will have a few stops here and there on this international tour. She will be spending most of her time on this tour driving Thor, but she will also have some shows where she will be driving Sparkle Smash as well. So we're very excited about that. We cannot wait to see what Jamie Sullivan will have in store for us here in Australia, as this will be our first time behind the wheel of Thor, and we cannot wait to see how she performs behind the wheel of this truck. Lastly, we've got Barry Musauer and Black Panther. And Barry Musauer is very excited to be driving Black Panther more on this international tour, as this will be and kind of like how we talked about Camden Murphy, this will be the only truck Barry will be driving on this tour, as Zombie was just a placeholder last year for Black Panther on the international tour last year, until we got to see Black Panther make its debut in Arnhem, Netherlands for the final stops of the season. Barry didn't have the best season in Black Panther as what he wanted to last year, so he's very excited to be driving Black Panther full-time on this tour. On the international tour, he's very excited, and he cannot wait to have a blast. And we may even see Joe Dennis from time to time drive the truck as well. But throughout most of this international tour, we will be seeing Barry Musauer behind the wheel. And it's going to be very fun. We're making our Monster Jam return to Australia for the first time since 2019 for the Diecast Tour. It's been 6 years now, so we're very, very excited for Melbourne, Australia to kick off the 2025/2026 International Tour. No better place to start it than in the land down under. So we're very excited for this show. So there'll be 2 shows coming up on August 9th. We have a show at 12 p.m. and a show at 7 p.m. with a pit party very early in the morning. So it's going to be very fun, and we are very excited. Next up, everybody, we got another announcement, and bringing up here. We got Todd LeDuc, who's the driver of Megalodon Stars and Stripes, and he just loved to make the public announcement that that Monster Jam World Finals, this will be his kind of like his last event here in Monster Jam. Todd LeDuc has had a great and amazing career in Monster Jam this year, over throughout his whole lifetime, ever since he started competing in 2011. But it's now time for him to step back, as Todd LeDuc wants to focus more on his family and his body and his health, as he's had some struggles in those areas actually these past few years with his body and his health due to some injuries. He's also definitely had some private family issues as well throughout these recent couple of years. So he's deciding he wants to step back, wants to take some time to focus on those very important things. And we may see him still around here and there at Monster Jam, maybe making some special appearances to come out and watch shows and maybe enjoy the shows from now on as from a more fan perspective. But yeah, so LeDuc, this will be his final time here in Monster Jam. Maybe we'll see him as a fill-in driver here and there along the road. But but this weekend, this is it here for Todd LeDuc in Megalodon. He cannot wait to rock it out in these Megalodon Stars and Stripes body one last time. He's hoping to bring home his 4th World Finals Championship here this weekend. As LeDuc, he felt like these past 3 years, he's been so close to winning a World Championship. From 2022, finishing on the podium in 2nd place, to losing to Tom Mentz and Max D, to 2023 being robbed in the freestyle competition, to last year getting underscored after his big LeDuc loop. So LeDuc's going to put the full package together here in the final, for his final show of his career, and he wants to bring home that 4th World Finals Championship, as he definitely deserves it. Currently, right now, in Todd LeDuc's Monster Jam career, he has 2 freestyle championships coming from the years of 2014 and 2021, and he has one Racing World Championship coming from 2016. So Leduc would love to end out his career in Monster Jam here as a four-time, possibly a four or even a five-time World Finals champion. He'd love to win both of the competitions, but even if he walks away with just one, it will be very awesome and incredible for him, as we cannot wait here. We cannot wait to see what Todd Leduc's future has in store, and in the famous words of Jesus Esparza, we cannot wait to see how Todd Leduc will finish his story here this weekend in Salt Lake City. And next year, we're also going to announce next year's biggest Monster Jam and our marquee event of the World Finals. Throughout the years with Monster Jam World Finals, we started this off in 2000, where we were in Las Vegas all the way from the year 2000 through 2014. And then in 2015, we decided to take the World Finals out of Vegas in 2015 and 2016 and brought it to my grandparents' house in Dade City, Florida. Then we returned to Las Vegas, Nevada at Stamboyd Stadium for World Finals yet again in 2017 and 2018. 2019, we brought the event to Orlando, Florida at Camping World Stadium. And then in 2020, we did our final World Finals at Stamboyd Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada. 2021 and 2022, we were back in Orlando, Florida at Camping World Stadium. 2023, we were in Nashville, Tennessee at Nissan Stadium. And then in 2024, last year, we were in Inglewood, California at SoFi Stadium. This year, 2025, we're in Salt Lake City at Rice-Eccles Stadium. And now it's time to see where next year's World Finals will take place. And that is going to be taking place yet again in Salt Lake City, Utah, kind of how we had for Dade City and Orlando. We have a 2-year deal here in Utah, here for Rice-Eccles Stadium for Monster Jam World Finals 27. That will be coming your way July 17th and 18th. And we'd also love to make the public announcement that this will, that 2025 or this new 2026 Monster Jam season will be the last diecast season for me, possibly, as we don't know quite yet. I'm still thinking about things and working things out, as it's the first time I've ever announced this to anybody. But, right now, in life right now, this year we're about to be a senior in high school, and we don't really know what the future holds after that. And as much as I would love to continue doing Diecast League, it just may not be possible or affordable anymore, as the times may change, where, a lot of the help, we do get a lot of help from these Diecast shows from, like, my parents, from mom and dad, who have helped me a lot in this Diecast tour throughout, especially in these past couple years, ever since we started broadcasting it to you guys on YouTube. And as they've been a big help in making sure we get the videos, as the shows, as good of quality as we can, with judging and filming the shows, as well as my dad helping out a lot with making all these custom trucks that you see out here competing in the sport. So we may have to step back, since we may be a bit more independent from them. We may be living off our own, and it may be a bit harder to do these diecast shows when I'm alone. And also, we just may not have the time for it anymore, as I may have to get a different kind of like a job so I can support myself. As currently right now, YouTube is not working out, and currently right now, I would continue the Diecast League if I had enough money where I can survive off of it. Like, if I could survive off of this financially doing this. But currently, as of right now, that is not the case. And I bet you by this time next year, that will also not be the case. And we may just have a hard time with time doing the shows due to just having not enough time in our schedule to do shows. Because, we don't know what the future holds after we graduate. We don't know what our job could look like. We may be getting a job, possibly, like, maybe even at, like, I don't know what my job could be after we graduate. It may be, maybe I'm working at a grocery store. Maybe I accomplished my dream and I'm working with Monster Jam, and I'm working with Monster Jam somewhere, whether I'm like a driver, a crew chief, an announcer, I don't know, an AV manager, a pit party manager, or an official, or whatever. Or we really don't know at this rate. Or maybe somehow, by some random chance, maybe somehow this channel blows up over the next year, and I'm able to use YouTube as a way to survive and support myself, but it is very unknown. The future right now, for me, is very unclear. But as of right now, 2026 will most likely be the final Diecast year. We may still bring back the Diecast League. Maybe here, maybe every once and now again, we'll bring back. Maybe we'll have one-off events, or maybe we'll bring back full season. Maybe we'll have like we'll have a first quarter kind of like what we have now, but it will be smaller with less shows in it. I don't know. No, that's something we'll have to think about over this next year. But if you guys want to make an impact to want to see these diecasts, if you guys want to see me keep doing this diecast tour, want to see me possibly do this for a living or for a job, a full-time job, and me getting paid off of YouTube, then be sure you guys watch all my videos, subscribe, and watch all the videos. You guys don't even have to subscribe as subscribers on YouTube. Don't matter where your money comes from. It's from the view. It's from your view count, not your subscriber count. So just be sure to watch as many of my videos as you can. So because your eyeballs give us money here to support us, so we can continue to do what we do and put on these amazing videos for you viewers. But as for right now, but at least for a full season, like what we've been doing, where we have all these shows and what we're doing, 2026 will most likely be the last time we'll do it, and we'll end off the Diecast Tour League with the Monster Jam World Finals 27 for our final Diecast World Finals, possibly the next year in Salt Lake City, July 17th through 18th, where we'll have one big grand finale Monster Jam event for you fans, and we can't wait, and we can't wait to see what will happen here in this finale season. We cannot wait for that road to begin. And here in about almost like a year, we're probably almost like a year away from this event happening, exactly as the date we are filming and publishing this video. So we can't wait, and yeah, that's gonna be it here for the Monster Jam World Finals 26 press conference. As it was a very fun time doing this press conference here. It was a very fun time. I'm doing this, and we got to see a lot of big news drop about the future of this Diecast tour, with shows that are coming up either next year or in 3 weeks from now. And you know, it's been a very fun time getting to talk to some of our drivers, see how they're feeling heading into this weekend. We cannot wait for the 2 encore stunts. And also something real quickly as well, we didn't get time to this though, but this year's also been the debut year of Sparkle Smash. We're going to talk to Kayla Blood, actually, but we forgot to add the slide. But Kayla Blood, you know, Sparkle Smash this year in the first debut season. It's been a really great year. Kayla Blood has been loving seeing all the Sparkle Smash fans come through the pit party line. And so does Jamie Sullivan, and those two girls have been killing it in Sparkle Smash this year. Kayla Blood bringing home wins in all 3 competitions on her Stadium Series, bringing home 2 racing wins, a skills win, and a freestyle win, and Jamie Sullivan winning her tour. So it's been a really great year for Sparkle Smash. We cannot wait to see what the future has in store for this truck as this truck keeps on competing and gets more competitive and starts competing in more cities, and even soon to start to try to compete outside of the U.S. and outside of the United States and do some international shows. It's going to be very fun and very exciting for them. But yeah, everybody, it's going to be a wrap out here for the press conference. Thank you all for watching. Everybody, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you guys can be notified for when more Monster Jam action here from Monster Jam World Finals 26 comes out. Everybody, be sure to follow my Instagram as well for live updates there. And yeah, thank you all for watching. And right now is the YouTube short we're about to go film. We're going to see a test demonstration of the track. You're about to see the YouTube short about to be posted. Where we're going to get a chance to see Camden Murphy and Classroom Crusher and Cody Associate and Dragon do a test demonstration of this track for you guys. So we'll see you then, and have a God bless day, everybody. And cannot wait to see what the rest of this weekend has in store.